in this first session of simplification and approximation. After completing the speed module, this is one another very important application of the speed module where we will talk about simplification and approximation. We will talk about what all importance of this. We will talk about what is the best method of attempting this, how many modules we are going to cover on this particular topic. Everything we would be covering in this particular session. So let's start with the first thing, that is the complete modules. I have divided the simplification and approximation in total of 4 modules. The first thing, we start with V BODMAS. Gradually we move on to surds and indices. We complete the surds and indices before entering into simplification or approximation, because this plays one of the very important role while solving question of simplification or approximation. Then we will practice a good number of questions of simplification with best possible tricks, and we will also understand what is approximation with all tricks and approaches to reduce the calculation. We will also see that how easy approximation is in comparison to simplification, and what are the better ways of handling the approximation. Let's move on to the first module, which is V BODMAS. And I also tell you that what is the spatial meaning of the V BODMAS and why it is so important. Let's look at the agenda part. I divide the whole thing into 5 parts. We will first of all understand that what is simplification and approximation. We will also look at the importance of simplification. Then I quickly talk about what is a prerequisite and the concepts required to command over simplification. Then I talk about V BODMAS, which is the prime agenda of this particular session, and we will do some questions on V BODMAS application. Okay, so let me start with the first thing, that is what is simplification and approximation. As the word said, simplification, you will be given a mathematical expression and you are supposed to solve the expression and find the equivalent value. So it seems as simple as last few lines of your arithmetic question or last few lines of your DI question, right? So for example, I have a simple example, 840 divided by 6 divided by 4 plus 79 minus 1316 divided by 19 into 5 minus 48 is equal to. I'm not going to solve it right now, but what is the simplification? A bunch of numbers connected with certain operations, brackets, off. We have to simplify them and answer the question. What is approximation? As the name suggests, it is estimating my answer. It is calculating the estimated answer. So this is the important point, that we have to calculate the approximated equivalent value. It is not the accurate value, it is always the approximated equivalent value. Okay, so this is a minor difference in simplification and approximation. Obviously, if you have practiced simplification well and the trait of approximation, the skill of approximation, you can handle either simplification or approximation up to very easy manner. Okay, right. So let's move forward and see what is the importance of simplification approximation in the various exam. Is it only important for exam direct questions, or this is also applicable in some other part of arithmetic, some other part of data interpretation, or where else it can be applicable? That all we will look at on the next slide. So if you look at this, up to 12 questions can be there in the prelims exam. Yes, I'm right, up to 12 questions can be there in prelims exam, and the best part is up to 3 questions can be solved in a minute. That means these 12 questions can be solved in 3-minute timing. Not accurately 3 minutes, sometimes depending on the complexity, it may extend to 3.5 or 4 minutes, and sometimes depending on the easy part of the questions, depending on the easier level, it can be right in less than 3 minutes also. Yes, many times it can be solved without writing anything on paper, just by looking at the options, just by checking the unit digit, just by estimating the multiplication in my mind. So that all thing we will be covering gradually in the module 3 and the module 4. Practice helps in arithmetic problems as well, because if you have a command in simplification, you can handle the basic calculation in arithmetic questions very easily, and similar thing would be there in data interpretation also. So many times, let's say I have practiced simplifications to an extent, and when I appeared the exam, I did not get a single question of simplification approximation, but it was filled up with other scoring topics, right? No need to worry, because whatever you have invested while practicing simplification and approximation, it will help you to calculate your answer easily in data interpretation as well as in arithmetic. So it's a multi-purpose kind of topic. So don't worry whether simplification will be there in exam or not. Jatin sir have told us up to 12 questions can be there. What if there are 0 question of simplification? Don't worry, because if you have practiced it, it will definitely help you in arithmetic while solving question. It will also help you in data interpretation while you solve questions, right? So let's move on to the third thing, that is, what are the prerequisite? What all things we should be knowing beforehand I start solving or start commanding the simplification and approximation as my portrait topic, as my strong topic. That's the prerequisite. This is the basic thing, guys. We have to learn tables up to 30. I can give a discount here. You can learn up to 29. You can skip a table of 30, right? But you have to learn tables up to 29 the way I have discussed in Speed Math Module 1. Then we have to use square, cube, square root, cube root, multiplication. These all things that we already have done in the Speed Math module during I was discussing fast calculation trick. LCM SCF, yes, we already have covered it. If not, you can revise it once again and get a command over LCM and SCF where it is applicable while dealing with fractions, while taking something common, while regrouping the numbers. That all we will see when we gain the speed or when we move on to the module number 3. V word mass, yes, that's what we are going to cover today. Surds and indices, yes, that we will be covering in the module 2. Percentage calculations, it will be covered in the module 3. Okay, so these all things are prerequisite and the concepts. If I talk about prerequisite, that is a prerequisite. Okay, if I talk about the concepts, these are the concepts required for developing the command in speed math, developing the speed in the simplification and approximation. Okay, so let's move to the main agenda, that is V word mass. But before this, as I have told you that in the Speed Math Module 1, in the prerequisite class, that you have to learn fractions up to 1 by 2 to 1 by 20, and I have told you how to learn it also. Okay, and the multiples of 1 by 2 to 1 by 12, yes, the multiples are also important. Like if you know 1 by 8, what is that? 12.5. So if I ask you what is 3 by 8, you should be immediately knowing it is 37.5. And you remember I have told you, we have to learn it forward as well as backward. For example, we have to talk about 62.5%. So you should be immediately figuring out, okay, it is 5 by 8. Something like this. Okay. Hundreds complement, it is really helpful while subtracting numbers, while doing multiplications also, that we already have seen in the speed math modules. Power of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, learn these powers. These will definitely help you in surds and indices, in number series, and no doubt in simplification and approximation as well. Okay, so let's move on to the main agenda, that is introduction to V word mass. So first of all, let me tell you that what is the meaning of each and every letter in this V word mass. But before I start talking about what is V word mass, let me tell you that this topic you have studied in the 5th standard, and this is so important that if you miss it, right, you end up calculating a wrong answer and a negative marks also. For example, this is a simple question in front of us, 120 plus 12 into 5. Quickly calculated an answer whether it is 660 or it is 180. I simply do it. I say 120 plus 12, that is 132. 132 into 5, if I calculate, this is 660. That's a one way of doing it. Now let me solve it in another way, because let's say one of my friends says, no sir, I will solve the second part first. So let's say he solved this part first. 12 into 5, 12 into 5 is 60. So it is 120 plus 60. What is it? 180. So can we figure out which one is correct? Just by reordering things. If I'm solving 120 plus 12 first, or I'm solving 12 into 5 first, my answer is changing. That clearly means we should have a certain rule so that whenever we have two operations like multiplication and addition into one equation, into one expression, we can decide which particular thing need to be solved first. Let me tell you here, this one is a correct answer in comparison to this. Why? Because V Wadmas says multiply before addition. Okay, let's talk about this in much detail on the next slide. Yes. Okay. Now, so when you look at this, identify the full name of every letter. It is like V is vernaculum, right? What is vernaculum? Let me show you. Vernaculum is a bar over certain operations. What is bracket? Bracket is like this, or like this, or like this. Okay. Off is standard word. Off, something I say 20% off 120. This is a way of using off. Division, you know it. Multiplication, you know it. Addition, you know it. Subtraction, you know it. So I explain the full meaning of every letter in the word V Wadmas. And what is this? This is order of operation. What is the order of operation? Let me show you that once again. The first priority is given to vernaculum, then bracket, then off, then division, followed by multiplication and addition and subtraction. So this is the order of operation. Now let me tell you that let's say we have a simple question like this. 4 plus 4 divided by 4. What is the V Wadmas says? You will do the division before addition. So basically you will simplify this part first. So it is 4 plus 4 by 4. So answer is 4 plus 1. It is 5. It is as simple as basic operations, but it is just defining the order of operations. Let me show you the another one. Let's say this one. Ideally, division and multiplication has same priority. Ideally, they have the same priority. You can follow them as a standard rule from left to right. So let's say whenever there are two division, or whenever there are two multiplication, or whenever there are one division, one multiplication, you can choose to solve them from left to right. I mean to say, I can see this as 864 divide by 4 divide by 9, okay, into 3. So I started writing it from the left followed to right. Now if I solve it, I cancel it by 4. Let me change the color. 4 cancelling it 2, 1, 6 times, if I'm not wrong. 4 2s are 8, 4 16s are 64. Let me cancel it by 9. 9 will cancel it 24 times. So I think the answer should be 72. I hope this is pretty clear. There is no doubt about it. I'm saying whenever we have division and multiplication, a bunch of division and multiplication side by side, we can put them from left to right. Otherwise, division given a priority over multiplication, right? So let's say there are two divisions. What did we do? I simplified the division from left to right. Is this clear? Now, sometimes students also remember this as whenever it is A divided by C, they say, sir, it is A by B into C. You can also remember it like this. if you're not able to following it from left to right. But this is, I say, simple way. Whenever we have division and multiplication back to back in the one expression, you can always choose to write it from left to right and then simplify it. Okay, perfect. Let's do it once again. Let's say we have this. So in this case, I start solving from left to right. So it would be like 256 divided by 8 into 4. Now if I cancel it by 8, it is 8 3s are 24, 8 2s are 16, 32 4s are 128 is the answer. Straightforward one. That's what the V BODMAS is. We have to decide the order of multiplication, division, subtraction, addition, all these symbols, right? For example, this one. So now so many division. I am deliberately picking up the example involving so many division because this is the first point where students do it wrong. They start solving it from here many times because they find this is easy to solve. In comparison of dividing 288 by 12, you will definitely identify 6 divided by 2 is 3, 3 divided by 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you end up saying 288 by 4, yes, it is 72, sir. But this is not correct. What is the right order? Move from here. So it is like 288 divided by 12. So 288 divided by 12 divide by 6 divide by 2. Something like this. So you first of all simplify this. 288 divided by 12. 12 2s are 24. 24. 4 is left. 12 4s are 48. Now you cancel it by 6. So if you cancel it by 6, 6 4s are 24. Now you cancel it by 2. So if you cancel it by 2, let me change the color. It is 2 2s are 4. So I think the answer for this question is 2. I hope this is clear. Okay, otherwise I have told you one straightforward approach. Let me change the color to yellow again. I have told you whenever it is A divided by B divided by C, it simply means A divided by B into C. So when it is divided by D, it is again D. Right? So it will be again like you can directly say it 288 divide by 12 into 6 into 2. Right? So it can be little faster. You can directly say is 144 2s are 288. Choice is yours, right? See, this is the approach that the V BODMAS is defining. We have to decide the order of operation. Whenever there is a division, you better start solving it from left to right because this is one of the crucial part. Rest, if you do not want to remember that way, you want a special shortcut, this will make your life easier. Okay, perfect guys. So let's move forward. And what is the next agenda, guys? Tell me. I already have told you this in the beginning. We have done 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope we understood the V BODMAS by now. Let's practice the questions on V BODMAS. Let's practice the question. So let's say this is a first question in front of us which involves plus, minus and division. What is the first thing you solve? Division. So if I simplify this, it is something like 3 divided by 1 by 3. I can also write this as 3 into. Just swap 1 by 3. So it is 3 by 1. So what is this now? 9. So I can simplify this number is 9. Now it is 18 plus 45 minus 9. In case of addition subtraction, you can do it in any order, right? So let's say you are solving it first. What is it? 36. Okay. 36 plus 18, 54. Or someone is saying, no sir, I want to solve addition first. So he can do it. 18 plus 45. 18 plus 45, 63. 63 minus 9 is 54. So in case of addition subtraction, whether you do addition first or you do subtraction first, technically there is no difference. So what is your correct answer, guys? 54. I hope this is pretty clear. No doubt about it. Okay, let's practice it once again. Now we have bracket also. What is the first thing that you solve? Is it division or multiplication or bracket? The first thing you solve is bracket. Although if there was no bracket, let's say the question was 48 divided by 3 into 1 plus 3, right? You would have started solving from here. But because of this bracket, everything has been changed. Everything has been changed. You first of all solve this bracket. That's what the V BODMAS says. So what is this now? 4. Now it is 48 divided by 3 into 4. Would you multiply first or would you divide first? Tell me. We already have learnt it. You will divide first. Otherwise your answer will be wrong. 48 by 3, 16 into 4. What is your answer? 64. So the correct answer here is 64. If you miss any part of V BODMAS, even if you are very strong in calculation, even if you are master of tables, you have learned squares, you can quickly multiply numbers, but all is okay. Let's move forward. I think you are fine with this. Oh my God, there are so many brackets this time. What to do now? So see, whenever we have the brackets like small one, the bigger one, and the bigger one, right? The priority of order is this, followed by this, followed by this. Okay, so let's solve it, guys. You will start solving this part. What is it? 1 into 2, 3. So now it is 6 into 9 divided by 9 into 3. Okay, right. So now it is 9 divided by 9 because division says this. 9 divided by 9, 1. Clear? So it is 6 into 1 into 3. Clear? So what is it? 18. I hope this is clear. Perfect. So we have solved till here. Let me change the color and show you that we have solved this part. Okay. Just check it once again. 6 into 9 divided by 9 into the bracket. You solve the bracket first. You have solved the bracket first. It's done. But now in this expression, you will solve the division first. So you solve the division first. Clear? So it is 9 by 9. It is 1. 6 into 1 into 3. What is it? 18. Clear? Now look at this further, changing the color to green. It is 12 minus 18. So now the expression is 8 plus 12 minus 18. So what is your answer? 8, clear, minus 6. So what is your answer? 2. The correct answer is none of these. Be careful, guys. A little mistake can end up a wrong answer for you. I hope this is very clear. You start solving from the bracket. 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 into 9 divided by 9 into 3. Then you have solved 9 divided by 9, which is 1. So 6 into 1 into 3, that is 18. Now you start solving from here. So I have written down this 8, this 12, and this is minus 18. So 12 minus 18 is minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. So the correct answer is none of these. No doubt about it. You understood if there are too many operations. Now, this is a one real example where we have brackets, many brackets, we have division, we have multiplication, we have addition, we have subtraction. Okay? Perfect. So let's move on to the next thing. I think we have done many examples today, and these examples are enough to make you aware what is the importance of V BODMAS. Yes. So that's all we have done today. We have completed the 5-pointer. We understood simplification, approximation. We understood what is the importance of simplification and approximation, followed by what are the prerequisite and the concepts required. Prerequisite we already have done in the previous modules. Concepts we will gradually develop along with further modules. Introduction to BODMAS that we have done, and we have also done some practice question to understand the complexity of VBODMAS. I rather say the importance of VBODMAS. So let's end up the session and tell you in the next session we are going to cover certs and indices, and once we are okay with VBODMAS and certs and indices, we will be covering simplification with as many as examples and approximation with another good number of examples and the concepts. That's all for the day, guys. Bye bye. We'll see you.